Pablo, obviously with Diego gone, you're going to have decisions to make up top. When you look at some of the guys, what does Piol bring? What do some of the other guys bring? How you make? What are you going to weigh as you make this decision?
Yeah, I think one, it's the opponent. One, it's that it's an away game. And again, I think experience. I'd say those three things will factor into the decision. Again, Seattle's been a great team this year. Tough place to play as we've experienced in years past, but a place where we can also, I feel like if we roll up our sleeves, we could get a result there. And so I think that ties into the decision making with Luna being out.
Yeah. Piol, Wolf, anybody else, Agata maybe, who would be up for consideration even? Because you could move guys around.
Yeah. I like to keep that card that close to the vest. Yeah, just a little close to the vest. No, I think we have really good options, and in the end, the way you start the game isn't going to be the way you finish, and so all that plays into it as well. Making sure that we have a good balance of some good youthfulness in there, but also have some experience, in there to help the youth and to see how that goes. So we still have some decisions to make in that.
Is there a chance that you will pick the starter based on who is better coming off the bench? Is the last 30 minutes of the game that kind of consideration, or first things first?
I think it's always first things first, and then you got to get that one done, and then you can figure out what that looks like coming into games, and those are things that exercises we go through every week to make sure that we have a good balance. And sometimes it doesn't play out that way because there's things that happen in the game, but we'll go through those exercises for sure.
We all know it's mostly you worried about how your team plays, but when a player of Albert Rusnak's experience and talent gets a red card, how does that change things for Seattle, and how might you have to think about the game differently?
Well, again, I think for us it's really focusing on ourselves, like you said. I'm sure it affects them, but that's Brian's job to figure out, and he's a great coach and experienced, and he'll figure it out. I got to worry about our group and making sure we put our best foot forward. But obviously those little things matter, and it seems like they're going to have to bring in some young guys and some Japalo more than likely to come in the midfield and play in that position. So they'll have some adjustments to make as well.
It's always better, we've been told, to learn off a win than off of a loss. So you got the win. It wasn't perfect. In the postgame you talked about how luck is always a factor and crazy things happen. So what are the teachable moments out of that game now that you've looked at it on film? What do you want to accentuate?
Yeah, so again, I think it's happened a couple times to us this year where we go up in the game, we have really good control in the second half. Typically the last 25 minutes, which was kind of the case in this game as well. I thought the first 15 minutes of the second half we had good control. And then what we went through with the guys was, because we're talking about, we're defending in a low block a lot, right? And we're taking on a lot of pressure. But why is that? It's really easy to put the camera on the low block and go, here. What happens is actually away from the camera when it's in our transition to attack. The amount of poor decisions we made when we regained control of the ball separated our group from our 4 attackers to our 6 defenders, and found us receiving a lot of chances against. So what we went through this today is identifying moments when we're in a low block. It's fine, you're gonna have to defend in a low block at times. What are the decisions that we make as a collective and the individual on the ball, and how can we help the individual on the ball to bring our team forward and get control of the game again? Because I've said this ad nauseum. Teams that are behind it are willing to take risks. So they're willing to leave people high. They want the game not to be under control. They want the game to be transitional. So it's 2 parts. One, we're playing right into what the team that's trying to score wants. And so how do we can control our actions and our behaviors? And for me, it was really clear that our attacking transition from a low block has to be so much more detailed, disciplined. And it's not just the guy on the ball, it's the collective communicating with that guy on the ball to make the best decision for the group.
So for the fans who are on social media saying they didn't like the bus being parked there in the last 20, 30 minutes, you're right there with them. You didn't really like the bus being parked either.
Never. Who wants that? You got to be perfect. If you're going to do that, you have to be perfect defensively, because now any foul at the top of the box, any referee decision to give a penalty kick, it's the antithesis of everything I believe in. However, I'm also realistic in saying there's going to be moments you're going to have to park the bus. And when they're sending a lot of guys forward, 8 guys, we have to have hopefully now the experience as a group to break out it's a 2 versus 2 going the other way. We don't want it. We want to bring our team forward. And we want to let those 6 guys that are sitting on the highest line jog all the way back. We want to set up camp. Then we can play like we do in the 30th minute. We lose the ball. Now we're in position to repress. And now we can change momentum of the game and play our kind of football.
Anybody else?
I'll go if it's okay. So you have 2 games left. What would it mean to finish the final stretch strong and take momentum into the postseason?
Yeah, that's everything that we're playing for. I thought the last 2 results have been really good. I think the performances have been good as well, and obviously performances that always need improvement. But I think the mindset of the guys has been really important, and I think wins and results validate the work that we're doing and will give us confidence going into the playoffs. So we got to finish this season off strong to get ourselves in there, and then I think as we've seen in years past, anything can happen once you're in the dance.
So obviously we're being so close to clinch a playoff spot. What's been your main focus in the group this week to keep them grounded and motivated?
Yeah, I think with our group, again, I think when you're in a, you've won 2 games in a row now. I think the important thing is to still stay grounded in that there's things that we need to get better at, but also the belief that all the work that we've done throughout the year in different phases of the game where we've been really good now, I think it's important to show them and compliment the group on that. So I think it's a little balanced, but always with the focus that the most important game of our season lies, 5 days away against a really good Seattle team.
A couple games on the road. You got to play the games anyway. Does playing on the road maybe make it a little easier with the pressure that comes with the playoff push?
I don't know that it's easier. I think again, I think playing at home these last couple games has really given us confidence from the start of the game to really attack the game the right way. I think that's what home field advantage really does, is out of the gates you feel more inspired because you have a good fan base. And so for us, the opposite of that would be like first 15 minutes we just got to be really solid, and we're gonna build our way into the game. There's no 2 ways about it. But we got to be patient and not concede goals early in games. And I think we've done a really good job of that here at home, and we just got to use that momentum away from home and really play, I think, a sophisticated game. These guys have been really good. The turf, their fans, they have good momentum going. So the onus is on us to really prepare the right way to confront this game away from home in a similar fashion that we do at home.
Talk about giving up goals. You've only picked up 3 points from a losing point in a game this season. How important is that first goal for you?
Yeah, I think it's huge, and I think the longer you stay in the game in a place like Seattle, the more it favors you. They have a great fan base that wants to see goals, that wants them to win games. So the longer that we can keep zeros against us is probably more important than scoring the first goal. Then it's scoring the first goal after we keep it zeros, and I think both of those things will hopefully put us in a good position to get a good result there.
And then you're going to say, we're going to focus on what we do. So what is it that you're going to do that is going to give Seattle some trouble and help you get a result?
Well, I think the same thing that we've been doing from an offensive standpoint, which is creating really good goal-scoring opportunities. I think getting guys in the box has been a feature of what we wanted to do, and now with Juan and Victor in the box, and then you get Diego and Diogo in the box, and then you get Alex in the box, you're going to find yourself with a lot of opportunities to score goals. And the goals that we've scored in the last couple of games have been fantastic goals, so we want to continue with that. And not because we're playing away do we want to take that away. We want to continue to be aggressive when we attack, and I think that's going to be the key to our success. And it's questions that Seattle's back four more than likely will have to answer. And then the other part, the most important part for me, is like when we're in a low block, if we do have the lead, or if it's 0-0 late, what have we learned from our last game? And that's what I want to see. I want to see growth in that. We're in a low block, we get the ball out wide, we're bringing our team forward, and now we're controlling the game again as if it was a first half situation. That for me would be a real growth for our team, along with, again, defending the right way and set pieces and everything else that we have to do to win games.